This start me out. What? What the?
The drama surrounding Blueface and Chrisean Rock, often referred to as Con or Con in various accounts, has reignited less than 72 hours after Blueface's release from jail. Reports are circulating that Blueface allegedly physically assaulted Chrisean, and she is now considering legal action against him, which could potentially send him back to incarceration. This development has sparked significant backlash against Chrisean, with many predicting that pursuing charges would provoke intense anger from Blueface's supporters and further complicate their already tumultuous relationship. The situation is particularly messy given their history of on-again, off-again dynamics filled with public fights, reconciliations, and mutual accusations. Chrisean took to her Instagram Live to address the incident and vent her frustrations. She declared that she is done with Blueface for good this time, emphasizing her exhaustion with the cycle of abuse and chaos. However, observers are skeptical, pointing out that she has made similar proclamations multiple times in the past, only to reunite with him shortly afterward and resume their pattern of arguing and making up. Despite the seriousness of the alleged assault, the public remains divided, with some viewing it as just another chapter in their toxic saga rather than a breaking point. Amid the backlash, there was a brief moment of hope for change when Blueface was seen in a positive light during a late-night streaming session with rapper DDG. In the video, Blueface appeared focused on his fatherly responsibilities, engaging with his son, Junior, who was attempting to stand and walk independently for what seemed like the first time in a while. The clip went viral, showcasing Junior looking happier and more active, leading many fans to attribute the child's improvement to Blueface's presence and involvement. Comments flooded in suggesting that Junior thrives when his father is around, implying that Chrisean's parenting might have been lacking in some way. Chrisean quickly pushed back against these narratives during her live session. She insisted that she has been diligently working behind the scenes with Junior on his development, including therapy sessions to help him build strength and motor skills. For the first time publicly, she acknowledged that there are challenges with Junior's health or progress, though she stopped short of accepting full responsibility or detailing the specifics. Instead, she emphasized that Junior is constantly with her and that no one else is as dedicated to his well-being. She dismissed the idea that Blueface's brief appearance was the sole reason for any progress, framing it as part of her ongoing private efforts. The conversation took a darker turn when the topic of Chrisean's ex-boyfriend, known as Karen or Ronnie, came up. Ronnie was killed in February under mysterious circumstances, right in the midst of a heated paternity dispute over Junior. He had been vocal about believing he was the child's father and repeatedly demanded a DNA test, which Chrisean refused, maintaining that Blueface was the biological parent. Ronnie's persistence included showing up uninvited at her locations and escalating the conflict online. After his death, rumors swirled that Chrisean might have been involved, though no evidence has substantiated these claims. In her live, Chrisean denied any role in Ronnie's death, but showed little remorse in her tone. She suggested that people who play with her or cross her in certain ways end up facing severe consequences, implying a pattern where adversaries meet unfortunate ends. She referenced Ronnie's online antics as crashing out for clout, warning that such behavior isn't worth the risk to one's life or family. While she claimed to have loved him at one point and needed his support, she criticized him for shifting his motives to gain attention rather than genuinely helping her. This part of the discussion painted a picture of karma at work, where negative actions lead to negative outcomes, independent of her direct involvement. Chrisean extended this philosophy to her current situation with Blueface, hinting that he might face a similar fate if he continues to harm others or stand in her way. She described herself as a witness of God and claimed a spiritual discernment that allows her to sense when someone's time is nearing an end. Recounting a moment where she told Blueface he would die before her, she clarified that this wasn't a threat or wish, but an intuitive feeling based on the energy people put out. She argued that those who operate with harmful intent, especially when they have power and influence, will be held accountable by a higher force, and their actions on what they perceive as their own chessboard will backfire because ultimately it's God's game. Throughout the live, emotions ran high, culminating in Chrisean breaking down in tears. She expressed genuine fatigue from the constant drama and her desire for Junior to experience stable fatherly love. However, she concluded that she is the only one who truly loves and prioritizes the child, accusing others of using him for personal gain or as a means to target her. Blueface's mother, Carissa, sometimes referred to as Clarissa, was mentioned multiple times, with Chrisean implying ongoing tension. Chrisean has been vocal in the past, questioning Junior's paternity and staying deeply involved in the public feuds, often criticizing Chrisean. The broader context reveals a web of interconnected relationships and grudges. Blueface is now dating someone named Angela, adding another layer to the co-parenting challenges. Jaidyn Alexis, Blueface's other baby mother, has distanced herself romantically but is focused on healthy co-parenting. Meanwhile, Chrisean continues to insert herself into the narrative, refusing to accept Junior as her grandson without proof and frequently bringing up Chrisean's name in her own statements. Chrisean also touched on her regrets, revealing that she never wanted to have a child out of wedlock and initially planned not to keep Junior, but family pressure influenced her decision. This admission shed light on some of her internal conflicts and the origins of her struggles. Public reaction has been overwhelmingly critical of Chrisean. One commenter expressed being sick of her, arguing that their relationship has always been violent, so the alleged assault shouldn't surprise anyone. They pointed out that Chrisean continues to force interactions with Blueface despite the toxicity, suggesting she thrives on the drama and should seek legal avenues like paternity tests and court-ordered visitation instead of informal confrontations. Another opinion echoed that Chrisean brought this upon herself and Junior, with her tears seen as manipulative rather than sincere, stemming from rejection rather than genuine harm. They referenced Jaidyn's earlier comments about a 3-day trial post-release, implying the chaos was predictable. Further comments accused Chrisean of loving the attention, noting instances where she's cried publicly, such as at an airport, to garner sympathy. Some downplayed the assault, claiming Blueface merely rejected her advances, hurting her feelings more than physically harming her, and that she should be accustomed to such treatment by now. The consensus among detractors is that no one pities her given her role in perpetuating the cycle, her mean-spirited behavior toward others, and her pattern of victimhood when faced with consequences. The question looming is whether Chrisean will follow through with pressing charges against Blueface, potentially revoking his freedom so soon after release. Recall that she previously contributed to his incarceration, adding irony and fueling speculation about her motives, revenge, protection, or another bid for control. If she does, it could escalate the angry mob response she anticipates, drawing in family members like Blueface's incarcerated brothers, whom someone jokingly or threateningly noted would have killed the instigator if free. This entire spectacle underscores the circus-like nature of their lives, played out on social media for the world to dissect. From viral father-son moments to tearful rants about death and divinity, the narrative twists through paternity doubts, unsolved mysteries, spiritual claims, and relentless toxicity. Blueface's brief taste of normalcy post-jail evaporated quickly, pulling everyone back into the fray: exes, baby mamas, grandmothers, and even the memory of the deceased. Chrisean's warnings about karma and accountability resonate ironically against her own actions, while critics see hypocrisy in her pleas for peace amid self-inflicted turmoil. Junior remains the innocent center, his development hailed as progress one day and weaponized in arguments the next. Therapy is mentioned, but details are scarce, leaving room for concern about his environment amid adult vendettas. Chrisean's assertion of sole genuine love contrasts with observations of instability, raising questions about what's best for the child beyond public perceptions. As the story unfolds, more responses are expected. Chrisean's involvement guarantees counterstatements, Angela's presence might provoke jealousy-fueled outbursts, and Blueface himself could address the allegations directly. The pattern suggests reconciliation isn't off the table, despite declarations otherwise. History shows fights lead to makeups, jail stints to releases, and denials to admissions. In essence, less than 3 days of freedom have spiraled into accusations of violence, threats of lawsuits, defenses of parenting, denials of murder implications, prophecies of doom, and floods of tears. The public watches, comments, and debates. Is this rock bottom or just another loop in the endless ride? Will legal action prevail or will emotions override again? The circus tents are up, the acts are performing, and the audience, fatigued yet fascinated, keeps buying tickets through likes, shares, and heated opinions. Expanding on the individual elements, the alleged assault itself lacks confirmed details beyond Chrisean's claims and word-of-mouth reports. No official police statements or visible injuries have been widely shared, leading some to question the severity. If true, it represents a dangerous escalation, especially with a child involved, highlighting the need for intervention beyond social media spectacles. Chrisean's consideration of suing or pressing charges could provide her with protection orders or financial leverage. but it risks portraying her as vindictive given past contributions to his legal troubles. Her Instagram Live served as both catharsis and ammunition. By addressing multiple fronts, Blueface, Jr.'s progress, Ronnie's death, spiritual insights, she attempted to control the narrative but opened herself to further scrutiny. The karma rhetoric, while philosophically intriguing, comes across as ominous, especially tied to real fatalities. Claiming discernment without wishing harm walks a fine line, interpretable as veiled threats or genuine belief. The Father Duty stream with DDG offered a rare wholesome glimpse, humanizing Blueface temporarily. Junior's attempts to walk symbolize potential growth, but attributing it solely to one parent ignores holistic care. Chrisean's therapy revelation counters isolation claims, yet her defensiveness avoids vulnerability that might garner empathy. Ronnie's story adds tragedy and suspicion. His unresolved paternity quest ended abruptly, leaving questions that fuel conspiracy. Chrisean's comments neither mourn deeply nor exonerate fully, blending affection with condemnation. Family dynamics amplify everything. Clarice's denial of grandson status perpetuates doubt, pressuring DNA resolution. Jaidyn's detachment models healthier boundaries, contrasting Chrisean's entanglement. Public fatigue is palpable in reactions, viewing the saga as self-perpetuating entertainment. Calls for paternity tests and court intervention are practical, cutting through drama. Ultimately, the 72-hour mark post-release becoming a flashpoint encapsulates their volatility. Whether jail returns, relationships fracture permanently, or the cycle repeats, the impact on Junior looms largest, a child navigating adult storms in the spotlight. The messiness, as promised, delivers layers of conflict, emotion, and speculation, inviting endless analysis in comments and beyond. Word count: 2,000.